So how do you teach something that's, really complex? Well, today we're going to look at a pretty fascinating way to do it. And our guide for all this, you might have guessed it, it's a dancing cat. I mean, that's the question that kicks off a super popular Scratch tutorial. And it's just a brilliant hook, right? It doesn't ask, hey, you want to learn computational logic? No way. It asks if you want to have fun. And you know what? That simple little shift, it changes everything. So that's the big question, isn't it? What's the secret sauce here? How do you take all that complicated, messy programming stuff and turn it into something a kid can not only understand, but actually get excited about? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. Okay, so it all kicks off with this really fundamental shift in thinking. The source material actually calls it programming as play. And listen, this is way more than just a catchy phrase. It's an entire educational philosophy. And the tech that makes all this possible? It's something called block-based coding. The key thing to get here is that it just completely demolishes the usual barriers to entry. I mean, instead of typing out a bunch of commands and stressing about every little semicolon, you're just using these visual interlocking blocks. It's kind of like digital Legos. The whole idea is that you learn by doing, letting kids build their own understanding, one block at a time. And this slide just shows the difference so perfectly. Look, on one side, you've got your traditional text-based code. Yeah, it's powerful for sure, but if you're a beginner, it looks like some kind of intimidating secret language. Then you look at the other side, the block-based version. It's just intuitive. You can actually read it. The logic is all right there, out in the open, just waiting for you to play around with it. You know, the source material itself sums it up perfectly. The goal isn't just to teach you how to code. It's to completely reframe the whole thing. It stops being a technical chore and becomes this fun, creative activity where you snap and dance instead of, debug and compile. All right, so this playful approach sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work in practice? Let's dive in and break down how the tutorial actually walks you through building something. So here's the clever part. The tutorial doesn't just throw instructions at you. It gives you a metaphor. It reframes the whole process of coding as telling a story. So suddenly each block isn't just some dry command, it's a new plot point in the cat's big adventure. And this story unfolds in these really clear, super logical steps. First up, you need a trigger. That's the when green flag clicked block. Think of it as your once upon a time. Next, you add the action, the basic moves that your character is going to make. Step 3 is all about personality, right? You give the cat a voice with some sounds and text. And finally, you add the flair, some cool visual effects to make the whole thing pop. Okay, now we're getting to one of the most powerful ideas in all of programming, but it's introduced in the simplest way imaginable. We're talking about the creative loop. And trust me, this is where the real magic happens. So let's say you've told the cat to move a little and then turn. You click the flag and poof, it does it. Once. Just a single little hop. That's not exactly a dance party, is it? And this is where the genius of the tutorial's approach really shines. The instruction is so simple and direct. It just tells you, hey, go grab a repeat block and literally wrap it around those move and turn blocks you already made. And bam, just like that, with one simple move, that lonely little hop is transformed into this continuous awesome dance. And get this, you've just introduced the core concept of a programming loop without using a single word of technical jargon. How cool is that? But wait, it doesn't even stop there. The tutorial then takes it another step further and introduces the forever block. So now it's not just a 10-step routine anymore. It's a full-on endless dance party. And in the process, it's teaching the concept of an infinite loop, framing it as the ultimate creative tool. All right, let's pull back for a second. We've seen how to make a cat dance, which is awesome, but what's really going on underneath it all? Well, this last section is all about what happens beyond the dance floor. Because, and you've probably figured this out by now, this was never really just about a dancing cat. The cat, that's just the Trojan horse. See, this is where the real learning sneaks in, almost like it's in stealth mode. When a kid is dragging and dropping those blocks, they're learning about sequencing. When they grab that repeat block, they're starting to understand loops and efficiency. And when they're fiddling with the numbers to get that spin just right, that's problem solving, that's iteration. And the whole time, they're learning that code is just another tool for creative expression. And the tutorial just captures this feeling of empowerment so well with this one line. You're not just a coder. You're a director, a choreographer, an artist. You're basically directing your own furry Broadway show. I love that. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. When you reframe coding from this rigid, technical thing into a playful, creative medium, you're not just teaching kids how to write code. You're giving them a whole new way to think and to create. So at the end of the day, the question isn't really, how do you make a cat dance? The much bigger question is this. If this is how we introduce the building blocks of technology, what kind of incredible things is the next generation going to build with them?